In the last section, we learned about controllers and how to bind data between controllers and views. However, we only looked at examples containing simple, primitive data types. In this section, we're going to expand our understanding by learning how to do similar interactions with composite data types. So to begin, let's go ahead and initialize a new property of our $scope object, which we'll call widgets. And I'm going to assign initial values to this widgets property in a slightly different way than we were used to in the previous section. I'm going to define a function which I'll call activate that gets invoked after I have defined, or rather declared, all of my new properties that I want to work with in our scope. And that activate function is going to contain a body that sets the values of that array of our widgets property. And so here I've just added two objects to the array of our widgets, which contain a name and a price. Let's go to our index.html to see how we can iterate through this array in our view. And we're going to iterate through our array using a directive called ngrepeat. ngrepeat can be applied to any element, and it simply creates that element for every repetition or every element in the object or array in which we're iterating through. In this case, we'll create two paragraph elements that each contain the name of the widget followed by a colon, and then the price displayed as a currency with no decimal points. Again, we can apply this to any element we'd like. So we could do an unordered list where we create list item elements for each widget in our widgets array. Or we could do it as a table where we create table rows for each widget in our widgets array and then table data columns for the name and price respectively. Let's go to our browser to see how this renders. And it renders just as we'd expect. In the first instance where we do paragraphs, it creates a paragraph for each of our widgets. In the instance where we do an unordered list, it creates list item elements for each of our widgets. In the instance where we do a table, it creates table data for each of our widgets.